This morning's BBC Breakfast focused on the one-year anniversary of the Westminster attacks. Charlie Stayt and Naga Munchetty heard the stories of a number of police officers, and spoke to some government officials on their views of the attacks 1 year on. Conservative MP Tobias Ellwood joined the presenters to talk about his actions on the day of the attack. Shortly after the attack, images surfaced showing Tobias running to injured police officer PC Keith Palmer to administer first aid. BBC Breakfast, Tobias Ellwood gave a heartfelt interview. He interviewed modestly, telling presenters Charlie and Naga he merely did what anyone else would have done. Charlie went on to ask the MP about how that day's events affected his family, and how he approached telling his children about the horrific attacks. He asked, "How was that process for you? How did you try to explain it to your children?" Tobias replied, "One of the vivid images I have is returning home and finding my son on the top of the stairs. He was in tears, and he was on his own." BBC Breakfast. Tobias Ellwood described the effect it had on his children. "One of the vivid images I have is returning home and finding my son on the top of the stairs." Tobias Ellwood. MP Tobias struggled to keep it together as he told the story, forced to pause to compose himself. With his voice cracking throughout, he continued, "I sat next to him and he just asked why. He couldn't understand why I had stepped forward, why someone was wielding a knife in a place that he had visited many times, and all I could offer was that there are some bad people in the world, but there are a lot more good people, and it's the good people that win." BBC Breakfast. Naga and Charlie were visibly moved by the story told. Charlie promptly cut the interview short, saying, "I appreciate you speaking to us this morning, and I realize that this is a very raw emotion still, and I thank you for sharing your story with us." The camera moved back to Tobias, but he couldn't answer as he continued to shed tears. Viewers spoke
out on Twitter about Tobias' emotional interview, with one saying,
"Nothing more one can say," another added, reduced to tears after listening to Tobias Ellwood speaking on the anniversary
of the Westminster attack on